All right, let's do it.
Knock it out, baby.
Behind the Blog with Deion Sanders.
Blog.
Primetime, that's the name, man. We're trying to get behind the blog, trying to learn a little bit more about the person. And I've been doing it with a lot of other Barstool bloggers that are maybe not as well known. You are very well known.
No, you're well known. That's the only reason I'm here. That's the only reason I'm here.
All right, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, I mean, that's part of this is that I was very pleasantly surprised how open you have been to me and all my colleagues. Yeah. Like, I reached out to you, and what I thought was gonna just kind of be like a, hey man, welcome aboard, and you'd say thanks, whatever, and you were like, you gave me your number, you were like, let's do it. Man. I've been watching your stuff, I'm into it, I'd love to talk to you. And you know, we've seen some people, we've tried to do this with other people, and they don't ever really dive in. You've dove into Barstool.
I'm in there. Barstool's have been good to me. And your following, the Barstool's following is absurd.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, through airports, through towns, if I'm in a Walmart or something, because I do go to Walmart, I'm just doing normal stuff. Mm-hmm. It's incredible, the following that Barstool
Compare
has.
that to baseball, football, every other fan base you've been a part of,
audience.
Music.
It's a new audience that has authenticity. Mm-hmm. They like real stuff, but stuff with a little twist of humor in it. They want to smile, man.
That's it. That's all it's all about. You got that $1 million.
Yeah,
smile.
they want to smile. Yeah.
But so I have gotten a chance to dive into some of your content, and I got to take umbrage with something you just said recently. I was listening earlier to 21st and Prime, and you saying that you don't love football.
No.
Because you don't love something that can't love you.
I don't love the things that don't have the ability to love me back.
But that really limits. I mean, that's down to, in my mind, that's humans and dogs. A dog can love you. I think other than that, who can love you back?
Humans can love you back.
Right.
Humans can love you back. I don't know if they always have the capacity to love because most humans been wounded since early on and they still carrying the luggage through life. But that is true. I can't love something that can't
So
can't
sports,
give me that back.
You don't think a musician can love music, a writer can love
think they
reading,
can. I can't. I'm talking singular. I'm talking me. I don't have that ability. I'm very, very in touch with me and who I am. Man, I'm 53 years old. If I don't know me by now, that's a problem. Don't you think that's a problem?
Yeah, you gotta figure it out if you keep doing it 50 years.
I know what makes me smile, what makes me laugh, what makes me cry, what makes me sad. I know me. I'm very in touch with who I am right now.
So you say me, do you mean Deion Sanders? Do you mean Primetime? Is that one and the same? Is there any difference there? Is that a nickname or is that an alter ego?
That's the alter ego as well as a nickname that was earned. You know, in the hood, you got to earn that thing. You can't just make up your own nickname.
Who gave you that nickname?
My homeboy, Richard Fame, my best friend, to this day and growing up. I dropped 36 one night. Basketball game in high school. He said, man, you know what, you prime time. I said, yes, right.
There you go.
You're right. So that's how that nickname came from basketball. But I embodied it. I took it to another level and marketed it, and the rest is history.
So at times my friends will give me a hard time. They'll be like, oh, KFC's here tonight, not Kevin, being a jerk or whatever. I
understand that, though.
Do you ever feel like you're being, has your family or friends ever been like, no more Primetime, I want to hear from Deion?
Because my family know they only get Deion. They know Prime pays the bills.
Okay, I like that.
they
you got to put up with Primetime if you want all of this.
They know
here.
When I'm at home, they know darn well it's Deion. They know Prime. When he go and has to fly out and come back, he's willing to make some money.
But honestly, if we're saying that Primetime is, you know, what you do for work or the alter ego or something that maybe you got to put up with, it's been relatively, no, I don't even say relatively, it's been fully clean. It's been good. You don't have drama, you don't have scandals.
I've had a little bit of all of that. We just downplayed it. Not scandals to what scandals are.
Well, that's what I mean, you know.
I've had drama.
Sure, drama, but a lot of people in your position who have the success, the money, the talent, the swagger, find themselves in bad spots, you know, with drugs, with women, with partying, with violence, whatever it may be. I mean, as far as I know, nothing
People
for
have come at me from all those sources, but I've circled myself with majority of the right people. Now, I've laid down with a couple people who wasn't right, that I thought was right, but they were steady taking a left, and they were wrong. So, but that was on me. I can't fault nobody but me because I made that choice.
As far as your drama, I feel like as far as the altercations go, Tim McCarver is the one that
ain't
seems
drama
to
me.
That's not drama to you.
No.
What would you classify that as?
That's some bull junk, man. That's somebody that was trying to do a favor from a friend for a friend that was the GM sure.
By talking about you, by saying what he said? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he didn't do his homework because he should have been applauding me saying, so this guy's not under contract?
Still playing, yeah.
And he's still playing, so he's coming over here to help you guys, and he's not even under contract with you guys. He didn't do his homework.
So was that personal, you think, or that was...
That was personal.
For him?
That was personal for him as well as John Sherholt. That was personal for me.
So you get your, you get your payback in, right?
Not really. You know what my payback was? My payback was balling.
Right.
But see, a lot of people go into a shell, they sit there and have a pity party, and they sit up there and self-absorb everything, and oh, little old me. I'm like, man, I'm finna go ball. You gonna mess around and give me that shot. And when you give me that shot, I'm gonna make you pay. The only thing I wish would have transpired is we'd have won.
Yeah.
If he had to present me with the MVP trophy.
I was gonna say you were gonna win that year, right? You batted like over 500 in that World
Hey.
Series. Tim handed to me. I want the interview
unless he handed to me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you could do that all over again, would you do anything differently?
Mm-mm.
You'd still all four douses, all 4 buckets of ice water.
Because you gotta understand, man, I'm a Florida boy, man.
Mm-hmm.
And that affected my mama. See, my mama called me. And she said, baby, what's up with these folks talking about you like a dog during the game? What's up with that? And she was really hurt.
Involved.
Oh, it's over.
Yeah. Doesn't matter what
and
it is,
all I
right?
said, I handle it.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
So if your mom doesn't make that call, what would you have done? Would you have done anything?
Kept moving.
Yeah.
I'd have kept it moving.
But it was because of mama.
Mama made that call. And nothing really affects mama.
So what did your mom say after you did that? Was there any like...
No. Some things, you don't have to say nothing about it.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is.
Took care of it.
But my mama don't play when it comes to her baby. She don't play. Yeah.
What about a little, much lesser known one I was just reading up on? When you first started playing baseball, a Carlton Fisk altercation.
That's another lie. Carlton Fisk, this is what truly happened, man. When I get in the box, I'm from Fort Myers. We didn't have, in the little league that I played in 2. I played in a affluent white little league, then I played in the hood little league. I was playing 2. I wasn't supposed to be playing for 1, but I was playing 2. We didn't have batter boxes or chalk. Okay. So I would always draw like a half circle, then I draw like a V in the middle for where my back foot was and my stride point.
Okay.
So that's what I drew in the batter's boxes all my life. I was coming on deck talking to this kid at Yankee Stadium. The kid was cool. So I went up there, swung, the bat flew out of my hands when I hit a weak pop fly. And I'm thinking, that bat is going right to that kid's head. And that's all was on my mind. And he was yelling, run the effing ball out, you such and such, you such and such. So the next time I got up the bat, that was on my mind. Who you think you're talking to? You know, I'm not with Major League Baseball right now. I'm just learning this stuff. I'm a kid from Fort Myers. I ain't having that.
Yeah.
So he lied and said I was drawing a dollar sign in the batter's box.
That's what I read. So that was just a full-blown
lie. That's a documented. When I went up the bat, get the footage.
Right. Show me the dollar sign. Yeah.
So this man lied, man. He's a full-blown lie.
That's crazy.
Full-blown lie.
It's wild, by the way, that I couldn't believe that you overlapped with Carlton Fisk. I mean, you were in the game. You had a long professional career, man, both sports.
He's all right.
A couple moments here and there, I suppose. Yeah. So obviously, though, when you have that swagger and you have that talent, there's going to be people like that, right?
True.
And it rubs some people the wrong way. Usually people who don't have that talent and that swagger, I would imagine.
Usually people that my confidence offends their insecurity.
Okay. So then my next, where is the line between confidence and arrogance?
Confidence arrogance is confidence is a broke version of arrogance. It's the same word, but one is broken and one is rich. Ain't no difference.
I don't know if I agree with that.
It ain't no difference.
I feel like...
What's the difference of the word? Confident and arrogance.
I guess my interpretation would be that confidence is more of an internal thing and arrogance is more of an external. You can sit there and have confidence in yourself and not show it, not act it, not say it. And I think arrogance usually comes, and that's why I thought, if you were to draw a dollar sign.
I never heard that I was arrogant until I made money. Because when I was broke, I was just confident.
Did you change when you made money? Not in necessarily did you sell out, but I mean, did your behavior change at all? Not one.
I've always been true to who I am. I've always been that same old kid. But I was very much more calculated as I grew and matured, much more calculated with everything.
So I never did protecting yourself.
No, I just never did anything happenstance. I've never happened to be somewhere. I never happened to say this. Nothing, it was no fraudulent slips. If I said it, I meant it.
So few people have done what you have done, or have done it on the level you've done it, or have the talent you have. I mean, who do you even consider in your class as far as straight athleticism?
Honestly, it seems like it's a dichotomy, but I don't think like that, man. Like, I don't think about my class. You wouldn't think that humility resides in me, but it really does. So I don't really think like that. I don't think like who is in this group of excellence.
The reason I ask, though, is not even from excellence, like you said. Like, when you need advice, when you need to lean on someone who has been through it before,
ain't no athletes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it ain't.
So, like,
athletes.
you're up there. That's my point. Is you're alone, really.
Pastors and people that have endured that area that I'm going through, not just necessarily football or baseball or sports, just life. Someone who's been up against it in life. Now,
are you saying that you don't value an athlete's?
I do.
Yeah.
I
So, like,
do.
if you were to turn to someone athlete-wise that's like been through it the same way you've been through.
I give you an example. When I laid off for 3 years and I came back to play for the Skins, I called MJ.
Okay. So that's the level we're talking.
Yeah, like MJ.
So you made the comeback.
Yeah. Tell me what's up. How do I approach this?
What did MJ say?
When you think you're in shape, whatever level you think you're at, you got to go even harder because you're not there.
Is that tough for you to be like, because you always have been in shape, you always have been mentally sharp enough, and then, you're probably always used to being on that level, to admit to yourself, all right, I've taken some time off, my body's, even if I don't think it, it probably has slowed down a little bit.
But you think it. You think you're there.
Yeah.
You think you're that dude because you're going against dudes that are that dude and you handling up. But then that dude tells you, even when you're there, go farther.
Right.
Yeah.
And so now going farther means something entirely different.
Yeah.
Sports is done, not done, playing sports on the field is done. We are now coaching.
Yeah, I love it.
And I think it was a huge move for you and your culture and your community to go with the historically black school like that. And I would imagine that weighed heavily into your decision. Was there any thought of coaching anywhere? I know Florida State came up. Would you have taken that job? Would you, or you always had the plan?
I'm leaning over because this thing has hurt my butt. I ain't thick back there.
Put up
like
in the
that.
pocket.
Yeah.
We don't care, man.
Last year, I interviewed for Arkansas and Florida State. Killed it. Felt like I was the man for the job. Felt like I had a staff that was unbelievable. And what I could do for both of those universities was abnormal. Didn't get it. Didn't have no pity party. Didn't sit down and say, hey, man, I should have got that and all that. No, I was like, you know what? Let me chalk this experience up, and it prepared me. And it's getting me ready, because I question God when things like that happen. It's like, God, if you didn't give me that, you got to have something better. And that's what happened. So when this came, it was a better fit. It was the timing, it was the social awareness, it was my culture and what we're dealing with as a country. It was a tremendous fit. Everything just fit, and it wasn't forced or premeditated. It was a real fit, and I felt good about it when I rolled over on it.
What sort of reaction have you seen from your players, your recruits? I know you grabbed that kid from Mississippi State. Like, there are some people who are now going to be playing for Jackson State because of you, really.
Right.
The program offers what it offers, but you're going to take it to that next level, and it's because of you. Does that come with a pressure?
Ain't no, man. Pressure is a single.
You don't even know what pressure is, do you?
Pressure is a single mother, man, of three.
Right.
That's unemployed during this pandemic that she's trying to make it and feed her kids, man. Pressure is somebody laying up in the hospital during this pandemic with this virus and don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. That's pressure, man. This is a game. And I play games to win. And I'm going to win. I'm going to win one way or another. I'm going to win, whether it's winning games, winning lives, preparing these kids to the next level, because it ain't all about going pro, man. It's all about these young men being professional and making a change in those prospective communities.
So how did you play and now coach on such a high level? Like, to me, I totally understand what you're saying about, like, let's keep it in perspective. There are more important things in life. There are worse situations, of course. But in order to succeed, at that highest level, you have to take that like life and death serious, right? I mean,
It has to
coaches
be an
are in there for...
expectation. It has to be an expectation. It has to be a new normal. It has to be a hunger, a thirst, a want, a desire, a will, a way. It has to be direction. It has to be everything has to be calculated then. You don't just happen to be great. That don't just happen. You got to work at that. So I have such a commitment to whatever I do. I'm all in, man. I never have do nothing. That's why I could never drink or smoke, because I know I'd have been all in.
Yeah, I noticed that. You said you never touched it.
Never taste alcohol
missing
in my
out,
life.
brother. It's a good time, man.
I never heard that before.
It's a good time,
Well,
man.
you better tell my stepfather and my biological father, who are now gone, you tell him it was a good time.
Yeah. I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
within moderation. But have you never had the itch or desire? Never.
I've been in it, but I never was of it. Never. Snoop is one of my best dogs.
Yeah.
But when he's around me, he's very respectful. All my guys are respectful and they know me.
Yeah.
I'm not even profane, man. I haven't used profanity.
I noticed that. I'm like trying to tone myself down right now.
I haven't used profanity. It works for you though. Since '86, I haven't been profane, man.
So what happened in 1986?
I'm one of those type guys that I have such will and I have such commitment that if I tell myself I'm not gonna do something, I don't do it. So I was walking,
Could use some of that.
Me and my partner used to freestyle walking from the bus stop at Florida State. We used to just go back and forth and battle rap, and it was very profane. And one day I said, you know what, man, it's stupid. This is stupid. We're just cussing each other out for recreational purposes. And I said, I'm done. And that was it.
That willpower is crazy,
That
man.
was it. But I used my vice to help me though, because I call myself like a $5 cusser. I didn't use the MFs or the SOBs. I didn't use none of that. It was just, the quick words.
What was your favorite back in 1985, let's say, where you're walking to the bus and you're battle rapping? What would be your
It depends on the verbiage, depending on what's coming up. I didn't have a go-to word. But what I did is every time I cursed from then on, I would give someone a 5.
Okay.
So I would go get $100 worth of 5s, and every time I cursed 5. So in my love and my affirmation for money, I stopped.
Shit, I would have hung around with you and been like, hey, say
You'd
what
have
you
been
want,
up.
man.
You'd have
Say
been up.
whatever you
Yeah,
want.
you'd have been up. But if you want to quit, yeah, you gotta try to pressure yourself into it, have a vice for it.
So much confidence, so much talent, all that. And yet was reading an article about a time you almost took your own life.
Yeah.
Drove off a cliff, huh?
God was calling me collect, man. and I wouldn't accept the charge.
How old were you at this point?
I have no idea.
Wouldn't accept the charges. You got away with words, man.
That's the truth. God was calling me collect. I wouldn't accept the charges because I ain't had no peace. Like I was at the top of my game, man.
At what point in your career was that? Where were you?
I was playing for the Cincinnati Reds at the time. I don't know if we won a Super Bowl. Yeah, I think I did. I think we had won a Super Bowl. Yes, we did. We did.
So you are a Super Bowl winner.
You're
on the Reds.
The night
At this
of the
point,
Super
you've
Bowl.
played in the World Series,
the
right?
The night of the Super Bowl in San Francisco, my first one. First one out the locker room, first one on the bus, first one in my room, and I'm sitting on the bed like, this ain't it. Like, I gotta go.
Just directly after winning.
I gotta go. What I mean I gotta go is like, see, what a man needs is another challenge because I conquered this. I've done that.
Interesting.
Okay, let's go. So I'm thinking, I gotta go. I made that decision that night. So now I go to Dallas, had a much better time, won another Super Bowl. And I'm sitting there that night. Okay, you know what? Let me try something different. Let me go out with the guys tonight. Let me kick it. Let me have a good time. Let me be in the moment. Let me see. That's it.
Yeah, enjoy it.
Yeah, that wasn't it.
Didn't enjoy it.
It was something not filling that void inside of me. So that's when I knew God was calling me collect. And I was running from it because I never wanted to be hypocritical. I never wanted to be this guy, but not that guy. Because I cared about people too much and I knew I had the influence on my teammates.
Right.
So whatever I was gonna do, the majority of them was gonna do.
There's such a difference though between feeling like a professional void or like I need something to satisfy me versus I'm gonna take my own life. I mean, there's a big gap there, no?
Yeah.
Was there other, I know
No.
divorce at the
Yeah, I was going through the divorce at the time, but that was
That wasn't
the things the only thing that I thought loved me were my 2 kids at the time. So when they're stripped away from you because the woman is taking them, now you find yourself alone and you got time
Through
to
that
think.
loneliness, it's an MF.
There you go. There you go. So now you're saying, hey, what's going on? This is good, but this ain't giving me that. The hand claps are great, but it ain't making me feel warm. That's when I came up with the whole saying is I'm living in a 15,000 square foot house, but never feeling at home. When I got 200 suits, but I can't cover up the pain. When I got 400 pairs of shoes, but I can't take a step in the right direction. I got 7 whips in the driveway, but I ain't going nowhere. See, I came up with all these cliches, but they were 100. I'm playing in front of 70 or 80,000 people clapping for me, but they don't know my name, my middle name. It was all that kind of stuff. I'm laying between 2 and 3 women at a time, but ain't nobody satisfied. So all those things was going on in my mind, and it was real. So I had to come on to Jesus, man.
So you're driving one night.
No,
and you
daytime. And listening to Kurt Franklin's Conqueror, double-minded, the Bible says double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Being double-minded at the highest height of it, because I'm listening to You Are a Conqueror, and I'm driving myself and I veer off the side of the highway.
Just like, this is it, just gonna go.
Yeah.
And how injured did you get in that?
None.
Nothing at all?
Not a scratch.
Did that influence you to be like, wait a minute, there is something going on here? Like, I
I
should
knew
be
what
dead, I
was
should
going
be
on.
injured.
I knew it.
I'm not?
I knew it when I turned off, because I was so honest that I couldn't even lie. So then the paramedic comes down to the side of this runoff, and he said, what happened? Did someone run you off? I said, no.
Just me.
It's me.
Yeah. Now, I find it so interesting because ordinarily if I hear something like that, somebody tried to take their own life and they didn't, there's a clear change in who they were. You know, they were on drugs and partying and then they're not, or they were doing this and they changed. And for you, it seems like you're still that same dude in a way. Like, what changed after you did the ultimate? You did like the biggest, craziest thing you can do, and then you come back. What changed? What were you doing differently after
Because
that?
now what I'm doing is for God, it's not for me.
So same thing, but different motivation.
Yeah.
Different reason.
It wasn't for me. Yeah, at that time. Now, everything was about me, about my family, about making money, about being that dude. Now it's for the Lord, man. It's straight. Because I remember one famous guy, and I'm not gonna call his name, say, well, when you got saved, didn't God tell you to change your suits and change your cars? And I said, no.
I'm not giving that up.
Not the God I know. The God I know, the Bible says the streets are paved in gold. So if his streets are paved in gold,
then
why would I give up my gold, you know?
Yeah.
So he's like, no, God just wants me to work for him.
Right.
It's good. He just wants me to work for him.
So, and now, I mean, success in everything you've ever done.
Seemingly, but that's not necessarily. The perception of it.
Give me a time, what do you think your biggest failure is?
I don't have a biggest failure, because whatever went wrong, I got it back right. And I learned from it, and I made it right. It was supposed to go that way so that I could learn from it and grow from it, then get on a telecast like this, a broadcast like this, a podcast like this to tell them, baby, the oven is hot, don't touch it. Yeah.
Well, all right, well, let me rephrase. What's your most embarrassing moment? A moment where you weren't prime, where you were just like, oh my God, I can't believe I said that, did that, botched that.
I don't really have that. What I would say is, I wish I would go with my instincts in regards to people, because I always feel like I could fix it. I could just pour love all over it and it's gonna get better. And sometimes people are just who they are.
Sometimes you just can't fix it.
You can't fix it. And I can't be God to them. They gotta
find God. They gotta change it.
Right, I can't help that.
So you can't even think. So I ask you a time you failed, a time you were embarrassed, and you ducked both those questions. You did. You just ducked both of them, Deion. You just ducked.
I didn't duck it because I don't have those moments.
Yeah.
I've never said, oh man, that was embarrassing.
So like
baseball-wise, I'll give you one baseball-wise if you're thinking specific, but it's not a big thing. Jose Akindo struck me out.
And you were walking back to the dugout like, you kidding me?
I think we were beating the darn Cardinals to death, and they put him in because they didn't want to waste another pitcher. And I'm sitting up there trying to take him yard, right?
Yeah.
And he painted a 3-2 fastball on the black or something like that. And it had to be 3 inches outside, but the umps was ready to go. I was so mad at myself for taking that. I went home, I had a batting cage in my yard. I probably hit to 2 in the morning.
Wow.
I hit to 2 in the morning. So
Because of Jose Oquendo.
Because that was embarrassing to me.
Yeah,
so that I would give you that.
No, but that is insightful. That kind of gives you a peek into what what does drive you.
I hit to my hands was raw that morning.
Jose
I was so
Oquendo.
mad. Yeah, I was mad.
That's very funny that a guy like that will be in your brain forever.
He'll never leave.
Who was the greatest you ever faced in baseball? Who was the greatest you ever lined up against in football?
Everybody with a left hand in baseball was the greatest ever faced. Football-wise, it had to be the big guys, man. See, not only did I have to deal with Jerry Rice, I had to deal with Steve Young and Joe Montana throwing him the ball. Not only did I have to deal with Michael Irvin, I had to deal with Troy Aikman.
Yeah.
You know, not only did you have to deal with Andre Reed, you had to deal with Jim Kelly. So in that era, not only did you deal with a Hall of Fame here, the guy who was throwing the ball was a Hall of Famer. So in knowing that you got him one-on-one, ain't no help.
Yeah, but you know what? All those guys are sitting there going, I had to deal with Deion Sanders.
True. But those are some legendary battles that I love. I love the competition of it all.
No, you don't. You don't love it.
The competition.
Yeah, but
Not
you
the
said you don't.
game.
The
No,
competition
I love
can't
the
love you
game.
back, Deion.
No, but I love the competition of going at you, man. Studying you, preparing for you, just knowing. I need to know when Jerry breaks the huddle and runs to the left, he put his outside foot up. I know it's the inside route. It's just the preparation of it. When Mike bent over a little too far, now it's a pass. If you stand up a little more erect, it's a run.
Yeah.
Little stuff that stuff will never leave me.
What's something in real life that you sense like that? Is there anything in business or in media? Are you picking up on things like that?
I pick up on the room. I pick up on everybody who's in the room because it takes a team to run something like that. Like before we started this interview, you told me how important your brother was. And I started thinking about relationships. Relationships are everything. And no matter what you're dealing with in life, I'm pretty sure he was there to keep you up, to keep you strong, to keep you going. And that's real to me because a lot of family situations aren't like that.
No, not at all. Yeah.
Usually one take a left, one take a right. Usually you got a Cain and Abel.
Yeah.
But to know that he's been there and had your back, even when you didn't probably want to listen, he was there.
Yeah, no
so
doubt.
that I think of all that kind of stuff in one little introduction when you told me about your brother.
Goes a long way in this business.
That's how my mind.
That's what I'm saying. The difference is, I'm sure people have judged you, right, before.
Tremendously.
And I would imagine that there have been people who think that Deion Sanders is not going to think that way and is not going to be that, that perceptive and that, you're thinking about me. You took your time to think about me and my brother. And I can think people, he's a diva or he's a hotshot, he's primetime. But I think that's what separates you from the rest, Let me ask you a question. I know you got to get out of here in a little bit. One last question. In two instances, there is the Deion rule, both in college football about academics, in the pros regarding money. If you could make a Deion rule for life that everybody else had to follow, what would the Deion rule be?
Every kid in high school would have to participate in two things, whether it's sports and a social event, or say the guy plays football and he's on the debate team. You got to be active in two things in high school because we need to get kids going again. Everybody now, coaches making you do one thing. That joker only did one thing. He was only good enough to do one thing. He don't have the capacity to be diverse. That's one thing.
Do you think that's rooted in you playing football and baseball? Is there something about you
and
being
basketball?
Yeah, how come you didn't go pro in the NBA, man? What's up with that?
Because I was only going to be 6 foot, 6'1". That was it.
If you had the height, would you?
Yeah.
Let's say you had the height and you could have played NBA as well. What would your order have been? Would it still have been
basketball
NFL
was my
number
favorite.
one? Basketball would have been number one.
Basketball was my favorite.
Would you have been the best at, would that have been your best sport if you had the height? Or are you still the best football player?
Football.
Yeah.
Because
it's tougher to be better.
I can roll out of bed and cover. I heard
you said you could still do it right now, right?
Yeah. For a quarter.
Yeah.
For a quarter. Now you got me off my train of thought because I had something good.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
you said the first rule was that.
Okay.
The two different.
The second rule is if that guy's your dog on your prospective team and he's giving you an organization more than 7 years in football, because 7 years in football is probably like 15 in basketball. You should be able to pay him anything he wants.
No cap, no
cap,
nothing.
no nothing. Then you will really understand who the organization is.
I was talking to Mark Cuban yesterday about Luka Doncic, and I said, if you could pay him, if it was a blank check, no cap. I said, what if he came to you and asked for $75 million? I said, I'd do it. $75 million a year.
Right.
I would do it.
Right.
And I think, yeah, there should be.
It should be.
There should be something like that, right? I mean,
Right.
you look at, especially in the NBA, how many underpaid LeBron and the top 5 guys. He said that. Mark Cuban said the top 5 guys are all underpaid.
I think football is jacked up. Basketball, it doesn't matter the position. If you're a dog, you get paid. Baseball the same way. Pitcher, catcher, anybody. If you could bang, you could throw, you get paid. Football, only the quarterback gets that. So Aaron Donald is way better than any quarterback at his position.
Right.
So why isn't he making 40? And he's only making half of what a man he's about to kill is making. I don't understand that. So you got some quarterbacks, just say Garoppolo. He's making 20-some a year, right? So everybody's on this team is sitting up like, so our highest paid guy just got benched. How does that make us feel? It's just not right.
Right.
It's not right just because the position. You should get paid to the level that you are. So if you're the best at this position, you should be paid.
If I'm playing the other side of it, if I'm the team and I'm the one writing that check, it's like you could be the best at your specific position, but it does not affect the game the same way that this guy under center does.
But everybody, Jalen Ramsey affects the game. But you can't tell me Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey is only half as good as Jared Goff.
Right. I'm with you on that one.
See, that's my 2 changes I would have.
Yeah. All right, man. I love it. I know you got to get going, so I appreciate the time. Busy
You
man.
got to come to my step.
I would love it, dude.
I want you know what I want to do an interview with you? I want me and you to sit on the yard at Jackson State.
Please. I would love that.
And we got to do a sit-down interview amongst the students.
You let me know when and where. And
I'm straight up.
Please.
That's real.
Thank you, brother.
Love you, man.
Appreciate it.
I want to meet brother too, man.
Yeah, no, he'll be back. You know, he'll be back in New York
what's
soon.
his
He's
name?
out in California right now because of Corona and all that stuff. Brendan
He's in the
Clancy.
wrong place if he's in California.
I know.
Why is he there?
He was in New York, and then times were better out there. He left and kind of went ships in the night.
Not good in California. Times are not good in New York.
Times are not good anywhere right now, man.
Dallas times are good.
All right, man. Well, I'd love to come down, and I'd love to go to Jackson State anytime.
I'm going to have you at Jackson State, though.
Yeah, man.
We got to do that.
And I hope you're here for many years to come. I appreciate it, man.
You know what I want to do with you, too? I'm belaboring the point before I go to the airport. We got to do something quick like how you do yours.
Okay.
We got to do it together.
All right, we'll do a little 1-minute man featuring Deion Sanders.
There you go.
I like that.
There you got it. Yeah,
you might have to do a little bit of cussing. I don't know.
I ain't gonna do This is a true story. Nate Newton is notorious for being one of the biggest characters ever in football. Nate Newton and Charles Haley used to hold court in the training rooms, right? So when Nate get on you and start joking, he kills you. The whole team is on their back screaming. And he's using profanity to make his jokes better. So I had to hire a cusser. This guy named Roger Harper played safety for us. He was with me in Atlanta. So I said, look, man, I can't compete with Nate because he always has the punchlines of the cuss words. So when I point at you, I need you to say it. So I would say, you big, fat, greasy. And he was like,
motherfucker. Listen, if you need a designated cusser, I will be your guy.
You already knew the word.
You can put to me like, motherfucker. Of course
I didn't even have to prompt you, man. And I would say, oh. And so I would go along, and he would just have the time. Nate was so mad, I had the training room screaming. Nate said, and you just go sit up there and cuss for him. You just go sit up there and cuss for him.
I'll carry that torch, man. That's my gig now.
I got you. I got you, man.
I appreciate you, man.
Bob.
Thank you, man. Listen, if you made it this far into the video,
which is far, like no one ever does that on the internet.
Like it's the end. You made it to the end of the video.
The full fucking video
you watched
did.
the whole thing. So if you liked it and you watched the whole thing, why don't you subscribe?
It means you like us.
Click the subscribe button, because if you don't, I'm gonna fucking murder John.
And I'm gonna like it.
Kill him with my bare fucking hands.
Yeah.
And if you weren't sold on this video, there's plenty more. Watch what's next up and then subscribe. But just subscribe so I don't have to fucking kill him.
Well, I don't know. Do what you want, but subscribe. Probably.